I know you want to play Loki, but you can't play.
So
You
he's-
cannot.
so
It's
he's
always a
just can't-
DPS.
Die where the healer attempted to heal me.
Well. Is the title a little bit harsh? Yeah, I might have overdone it. But is matchmaking the reason you're not climbing out of the lower ranks?
No.
No. My name's Depression. I've solo queued to Celestial twice now with a pretty decent win rate. I hear and see a lot of comments like the game punishes you for winning too much, or try climbing when you have silver teammates every game, and so I did. This past weekend, I solo queued from bronze up to platinum 1 twice on 2 other accounts just to demonstrate it is possible and it's not based on random chance. And from what I observed, not only are a lot of you losing winnable games, but you don't know why you actually lost, and you just end up pointing fingers at each other. Now, there are going to be certain losses that are out of your control. I just died 3 times in 25 seconds. I can't even be mad.
From the side, explore it.
That's kind of what I mean, like, you're too
What
far
am I
back.
supposed to do about Moon Knight? Let's save our ults here. You know, I respect the confidence, but for next time. The wins weren't because I was dropping 50 kills a game. Even though I won 7 out of every 10 matches, I would get MVP less than 20% of the time. So I made this guide of certain unspoken rules that higher ELO players follow because they aren't really explained anywhere in the game, but they are very important when it comes to winning. The first rule, dying. How and where you die is just as important as when. In Rivals, deaths can be broken into 3 main categories: contesting, resetting, and staggering. For contesting, when you are the defending team, either stopping the payload or defending the control point, you should be dying on the objective. The payload shouldn't start moving, the point shouldn't flip possession until your entire team is dead. This prevents the enemy from getting free progress while your team is waiting to respawn. How many times have you had a game where you're 1 second away from touching the point, but you lose because you don't get there in time? 1 death, 1 person choosing to die on the point can be the difference between a win and a loss. Now, on the flip side, there is resetting. When you are attacking the point or pushing the payload, if your team dies, you need to abandon ship as soon as possible. If escape isn't realistic, stand still and let them kill you, jump off the map, whatever, just die so you can regroup. You want to give yourselves as many chances as you can to attack, so if your team loses a fight, quickly move on to the next one. There are exceptions. Like I mentioned, if you can escape and regroup with your team without dying, that's always preferable. But that's for situations where you have a significant head start or you're playing a hero with high mobility. If you are on the point as Magneto, if you're Namor, if you're Cloak, just go down. Don't try to run, I promise you they will catch you. This leads to the third category, staggering. If you haven't died yet and the payload is moving, the point has already flipped, or everyone else is dead and you're still fighting, you are costing your team and gift wrapping free points to the enemy team. Your team now has to wait all this extra time for you to die and then respawn, or they have to rush in 5v6 and you've put them at a disadvantage. This is the most common mistake I saw, and the good thing is that it's one of the easiest to fix. Ultimates.
And when everyone's super,
No one will be.
Ultimate abilities are the key to winning, and not having them is the key to not winning. When you use an ultimate, it should be used to give your team the advantage. If it's not going to make the difference between winning and losing a fight, it's better to save it. Some examples of when you should be using ultimates: to engage a fight, to keep numbers advantage, to cancel out an enemy ultimate, or to guarantee you get a checkpoint. Some examples of when you should save your ultimate: when contesting or resetting.
If you're around there, just die. No, Cloak.
When your team already has the advantage.
You could have saved that.
When it doesn't affect the point, like don't waste an ultimate over here if nothing's gonna change. If the enemy uses an ultimate before the fight starts, don't mirror or push into it, just wait for it to end and then engage with your own advantage.
Here, come back. We don't need to fight it, they just wasted that.
And last, simultaneously with a similar ultimate.
They just double support ulted. Wait, they C9'd. Alright, no one use anything, we don't need. If we're lucky, they're gonna Iron Man ult here too. Nice.
It's important to keep track of which ults are being used, which ults the enemy has, and which ults your team has to counter. Knowing this as well as communicating them to your team is half the battle. Hey Invis, when you ult, be ready for Wanda to use hers.
Nice. They're gonna have Magic ult here. Let's use your ult for that. Cloak, save your fade for Jeff ult still.
Damage. Damage can be good or bad. You want to be doing enough damage to secure final blows and build your ultimate without doing more than that. If you're not converting damage into space, into cooldown trades, or into eliminations, the only thing you're doing is building enemy support ultimates. When contesting or resetting, if you already have your ultimate, don't shoot, just waste their time and go down. If you're a tank and you're dying repeatedly, the enemy team is farming their ult off of you, and you are depriving your supports of the ult charge from healing you. And last, if your supports are close to their ultimate at the beginning of a fight, you can intentionally stand and take a little bit of damage to charge them so that you have the advantage when you engage. Stats. Stop arguing about stats. They rarely tell the full story. Of course, their healers have more healing than yours. They had 2 tanks and you had 1. Of course, our Hela has better stats than theirs. We have a shield and their team didn't. Like I mentioned earlier, I only got MVP 5 times across 35 games. I still had a win rate of 70%. Progressing the objective is always more valuable than getting kills. Giving up your life so that your team can recontest the objective is always worth more than saving your KD ratio, and saving my ultimate to counter their support ultimate is more valuable than me getting a triple kill in a fight we already had the advantage.
That is insane. Let's see if I can get it all here.
Forget about stats, watch the clock, play around the objective, and you will succeed. Respawn advantage. Respawn advantage is when one team has a shorter walk back to the fight than the other, making their deaths less costly. Advantage is even for both teams on domination maps and gradually shifts from attacking team to defending team throughout a payload section. This is why you see a lot of holds towards the end of a payload section where the defenders are getting back 10 to 15 seconds faster than the attacking team. Now, how is this useful information? Stop taking fights in their spawn. There's nothing over there for you. You are willingly giving up your advantage and your position. I know it's tempting. We all want to shoot enemies, but let them come to you. You have what they need and not the other way around. This is also why you should save ults while the payload is close to spawn and use them when you're at a disadvantage later in the game. Positioning. Please stop standing out in the open. You wouldn't believe how easy of a target this makes you. The tempo of a fight can change with a single ability, and at any given moment you want to have a plan to get in cover or disengage if necessary. Second, overextending and being too far from your team results in so many unnecessary deaths. You never want to be more than 1 cooldown away from your team. If you need to retreat in an emergency, it should take you 1 ability max to get back to safety. Vanguards, play cover. Stop taking so much damage. Your role is to block incoming fire for your team when engaging. If the damage you're taking wouldn't otherwise be hitting your teammates, it's unnecessary. And if your healer's turning around for 2 seconds is enough to get you killed, you are in a bad position. Also, side note, a lot of you use your shields as like an "oh shoot, I'm about to die" button, when sometimes the most useful thing you can do is just hold shield for your team.
Shielding heals on Strange. Focus him.
Duelists, be aware of where your team is. We can't shield you if you're in front of us. We can't heal you if we can't see you. Similar to Vanguards, if the damage you're doing isn't resulting in helpful eliminations, all you're doing is feeding enemy support ults. While it feels good, it means absolutely nothing if you get a triple kill after your team is dead, because they're going to get back the same time as you guys and it's just going to be a 6v6 again. Also, if you're the third duelist on the team, you need to position yourself back in the spawn room and swap to a second tank. Strategists, you should be in a position that makes it inconvenient for the enemy to attack you. If you are just in a terrible spot, nothing we do to help is going to save you. While it's everyone's job to peel for you, it's your job to stay alive while we do so, and we can't help you if you're 6 miles away from the rest of the team. And finally, if they're running a ton of dive characters, honestly, you're just gonna die a lot. If you're getting killed, but your team is winning fights consistently, that's fine. That's just how the game works. Don't get mad. Just enjoy the free win and go next. Team compositions. Stop running 3 duelists. It's terrible. It sucks. It only works if the other team is equally bad or worse than you. You could be the best silver punisher on the planet. You'll still help your team more by switching to a second tank. The reason so many of you are losing to triple support is because it counters triple duelist. Triple support comps either sacrifice health or damage for extra healing, and they're countered by a balanced 2-2-2 or a triple tank composition. The majority of team comps fall into one of 3 categories: poke, dive, and brawl. Knowing how to identify and counter them is essential to winning games. Poke involves doing damage from a distance to secure kills. Some examples of poke characters are Magneto, Strange, Hela, Punisher, Ultron, and Loki. Poke excels in areas with long, open sightlines and high ground bunker positions. Its weaknesses are in closed spaces and compositions that can close the distance quickly. Dive involves high mobility and target focus, closing the distance quickly and singling out a target. Some examples of dive heroes: Venom, Captain America, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Luna, and Mantis. Dive thrives in areas with lots of cover and verticality. Its weaknesses are crowd control or stun abilities, as well as area denial. If you're running a dive character, wait for your team to engage before you dive on a target. Don't just jump in 1v6 because they will focus and kill you. Brawl involves close quarters combat as a group, CCing or outlasting the enemy. Some examples of Brawl heroes are Emma, Thing, Winter Soldier, Fantastic, Invis, and Cloak. Brawl thrives in enclosed areas. Its weaknesses are long open sightlines and sustained long distance damage. Counter swapping. A major component of Rivals is countering the enemy team composition. You should, at minimum, know how to play 3 heroes from each role: a poke hero, a dive hero, and a brawl hero. The more characters you know how to play, the more characters you know how to counter. If your hero is countered, swap to someone else. No one is insulting you by asking you to switch. Stop taking it personally. You might be doing well, your stats might look great, but your team as a whole will perform better if you adjust to what the enemy is playing. For example, if you're playing Venom into Thing, Emma, Namor, you might be distracting their backline and getting a kill here and there, but your team can't push or take space because your other tank is losing on the front line.
Bro, can I play?
Communication. The team with the most information wins. Number 1, turn on voice chat. Even if you're not talking, even if you have to mute that one obnoxious guy, listen to the information your allies are giving you. It's going to help you win.
Hey, play up on that wall right there. When they come in an invis ult.
Oh, I hear you.
She's right here.
Got her.
Punisher set up high ground when we get there.
Number 2, just be nice to people. Rarely is it the case that someone is playing poorly specifically to ruin your day, and they'll be much more open to listening to you if you are constructive instead of rude or condescending. Find out what the problem is. Ask, who are your best characters? How can we help you play better? Who on their team has been giving you the most issues? I'd like to shout out my teammate from earlier, Ali the Dumb, who for the 2nd game in a row was getting absolutely murked on Jeff. We got steamrolled for 2 out of the 3 points. No one got mad. Everyone was nice to each other. We talked about who we could play and swapped things around. I went support, one of our duelists went tank, and Ali went over to Winter Soldier, where they absolutely cooked the enemy team.
Bro, why were you on Jet?
3. If someone is trying to get under your skin, don't let it get to you. Do your best to win, control what you can control, and if you end up losing, just report them and go on to the next game. I had someone throwing in one of my games earlier, we all just ignored him, and I guess he got bored because he started playing again, and we won. We had someone rage quit in the first round, and we communicated swaps as a team and still won 5v6.
They don't touch again. GG's, boys.
And 4, have fun. At the end of the day, it's a game we play to enjoy ourselves, and we all play better when we're communicating and laughing than when we're angry or upset. I wanted to conclude with some niche tips and tricks that I've picked up, but first, as always, thank you for watching. You are greatly appreciated. If this video hasn't made you too angry, if you could, consider liking, subscribing, or leave a comment letting me know which parts helped you the most. Share this with a friend who sucked. Share this with your friends so you can improve together. I do want to give 2 specific shoutouts to LR3310 and Saint Mori. They were great teammates. They were in chat making callouts. They had game sense and awareness, played really well, and out of everyone, they deserve to be ranked higher. So good job, guys. Use Strange Portal to block the enemy's choke on control maps. You can isolate them or take point presence for free. When you have a yellow outline around your health bar, it means you are immune to CC. As Phoenix, apply a spark to enemies before ulting, it'll help you one-shot. You can use Psylocke ultimate to counter Cloak if you single her out, as well as Luna's and Sharknado. If you see a Psylocke ulting your support ult, stand in the ult radius to split the damage and you'll both survive. Mr. Fantastic's defensive mode can only take 300 damage before it breaks. If he's stalling the point, just shoot him. Adam's revive radius is based on where he is, not the ultimate itself. Hold primary fire as Adam when releasing a volley to immediately headshot them. A lot of people know Magneto's ult does more damage when you absorb projectiles, but it also does more damage the longer you hold it. Pop Magneto's ult right as you hear Cloak's voice line, and it will max out right as she stops moving. You can use Luna's clap ability mid-team fight to avoid reloading. You can also do the same on Cloak and Dagger by switching and then switching back. Luna regenerates health in her ultimate, but doesn't regenerate the overshield. Have your team get rid of the blue health so she can be one-shot by Magneto or Darkchild. Aim at the floor below an ally as Rocket, and when it bounces, it counts as 2 direct hits instead of 1. Avoid Squirrel Girl's ultimate entirely by standing on the payload. If you know you aren't going to need it, use Loki's invisibility to drop another clone and save the actual clone cooldown. Loki's field converts damage into healing, meaning you can use it to save allies from one-shot abilities. Cloak's fade lasts longer than you think, but it takes you out when you shoot or melee. Switch to Cloak before ulting so you can immediately fade to dodge ultimates instead of having to switch first. You can use Punisher's turret cooldown to survive a one-shot ability. As Captain America, if you need to finish off a low health enemy, you can bounce the shield off the floor and it will auto-track to them. You can bind Venom's swing and easy swing to different buttons so you have access to both should you need to leave in a hurry. Similarly, you can put Ultron's drones on 2 different buttons. Venom's ultimate is based on remaining health, so you want to bite before the corrosion damage instead of after.